Hello and welcome. This is a character profile video for Sura, and there's a lot to cover for him. So what you're gonna see is all his skills, his enhancements, the best top 8 that I recommend for PvE and PvP, his player card, and some gameplay footage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Sura. Here we go. Alrighty, so here are all of Sura's skills, and the first thing I want to call your attention to is the text that is in red for super armor. And what that means is it is not applied in arena, and there's a lot of skills that aren't. So what this means is the one at the top, blinding slash, the next one down, shadow break, and quite possibly, well, those two are your super armors, and you can rotate them with the shadow cloak, which is really cool. Stealth and just being able to teleport out and stun your opponent, and you can go through that cycle all over again with blinding slash and shadow break. So, and there are a lot of other skills that you can add into that rotation, but if you're worried about, hey, this guy just doesn't have super armor in the arena where I need it, yes he does, and that's what I would recommend for him. If this is the first time looking at this screen, on the left are all your skills, then how many times you could use them, which is charges, how many times it hits is the next column, and then the damage percentage of PvE and PvP. If you're looking at your character and going, hey, why is the number so high for Shadow Break when it's broken down on my screen, I added it all up for you and gave you the total percentage. It's math done right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide, which is the top 8 PvE skills I recommend when you're out there farming. Here we go. Alright, here we go, and on this slide it'll show you the top 8 PvE skills I recommend, and they are highlighted in green. If you are new to this slide, that is what you're looking at. From the previous slide, it showed you the breakdown of how the layout is, and on this one it is highlighting the 8 skills you can bring into a fight, and it's organized from the highest damage on down. So Shadow Break, without a doubt, even though it's a one-shot slice damage, with that hits 4 times, but you just don't see the sword swing 4 times, that is your heavy hitting skill. So you don't have to stick with this recommendation. There's 3 other skills that are vying for your attention. So your call, but if you're asking me what are the top 8 that are pretty heavy and hard hitting, those are the ones. So let's go ahead and move to the PvP skills and see if it changes any. Here we go. It looks like all of the skills from the PvE is the same as the ones here on the PvP skills slide. Some things are moved around, different damage percentages, but again, for those who are PvP based, like their characters for PvP, this is going to be the slide they're going to be interested in, and they're going to want to know what hits the hardest, just like PvE when you're farming mobs out there. So what's highlighted in green is the top 8 that I recommend. Now, you certainly are going to change it up, but this is a good starting point to say, alright, let me work with all these, and then let me see what the 3 that he didn't highlight do, and let me see if I want to work that into my rotation. So that is the top 8 PvP skills I recommend, and let's go ahead and move on to showing you the enhancements for Sura. Here we go. Okay, so here's the enhancements slide, and I want to, if this is your first time looking at this slide, let me just go ahead and explain it briefly. On the far left are all of your skills, and then you see 4 columns in the center, and then on the far right is your branch damage. You certainly should know what branch damage is. If not, don't worry, play the game. You'll learn what the branch damage is, and you can come back to this slide and see how it pertains to your character. But in the middle is 4 columns. The third one, I always try to make that one what damages your opponent or the creatures out there in the world. So, and then the other 3, the first, second, and fourth, are things that benefit you. So that's the way I try to set it up. It doesn't always work out that way, but what I also want to call your attention to is that if you look at Twin Dragon, the third one down on the left, the super armor, that doesn't apply for Path of Glory. That's what the color means. And then after image, same thing. It just doesn't. So that's, I wanted to call that out, as well as Blade Storm. When you're in Path of Glory, it's not going to heal you, so don't count on getting a free heal while you fight. And there's also a meaning behind the skills that are highlighted in red. For those who are trying to set up a farming build, because we know that Sura is very strong when it comes to PvP, or one-on-one fights, you name it. But I want to call your attention to the ones highlighted in red because the skill, the cooldown for the skill reduces, and that should catch your attention. You should be working on reducing Mountain Fall and Rising Cut because those do good damage, and you can reduce it, making it faster, which means faster farming speeds. So just a recommendation, and I wanted to make sure I pointed it out to you so that you see it and you're aware of it. So from this point, let's go ahead and move on to the player card, and I'll see you there. Okay, so the player card, think of it like a baseball card. I wanted all of the slides and all the information that you saw to be present in one screen. If you're familiar with my character videos, then you're like, okay, I'm gonna just go to the player card and check him out and see what I like or what I don't. Just get a whole view of it. So allow me to explain. So at the very top is the top 8 PvE and PvP skills that I recommended, highlighted in green. To the right is something new. I call it immobilization. And what this means is to immobilize another player is to knock them down, knock them up, stun, or bound. Any of those effects on another creature or player immobilizes them. I don't consider knockback an immobilization because the animation knocks them back and they can get out of it, whereas all the others, they're on the ground. They have to spend the time to get up, and that gives you 2 or 3 good hits while they get up and possibly get in another stun, you name it. So what you're looking at there is Shadow Break, Blade Storm, and Rising Cut have 2 immobilizations in it. So if you don't get them on the first one, you more than likely can get them on the second one. It depends on if they have super armor. So pay attention to that area right there when you're choosing the skills you want to go with in your rotation. You want to make sure you have some immobilizations as well as your super armor, and then you'll be a well-rounded character ready for battle. The area below is all the skills that Sura has, and below that is all of the enhancements. And if you're watching this wondering, well, I don't know what super armor is or what it does, and I saw something about forward guard, what is that? At the very bottom is the definition, according to the internet, what forward guard and super armor means, and I'm just gonna read it for you real quick. Forward guard, this means that incoming damage will be either be 0 or heavily reduced. This is a really nice enhancement to have with your skill. Super armor is more common for all characters, and this means that incoming damage will be reduced and the effects that immobilize you, just like I showed you at the top right, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. So if you're wondering why you have 2 immobilizations and it's just not working on them, chances are they have their super armor active. So just gotta feel for it and keep trying and put it in your rotation to keep going at it, or mix up what you're doing to catch them off guard and get that immobilization in. So spend a moment to enjoy this player card, and then we're gonna go and show you some gameplay. I'll see you there. Okay, welcome to the gameplay section of this video, and before we start, let's give you an idea of where we're at and what is going to happen. So let's click on the map. We're over here in Velanos, and we're at Kron Castle entrance, and the reason why we're here is because the monsters are that low in CP, 2519, and we're clearly at 10k CP, not a problem. We're going to bring up a clock here and set it for 3 minutes to show you 3 minutes of gameplay. And I also have a standard location, Kron Castle entrance, auto path of where he's going to go. So we'll start the timer the minute he gets there. And also note that all of the skills I pointed out to you, the top 8 in PvE, are equipped. So he's going to showcase those for you today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get going. And we'll start the clock when we get there, and I'll allow you to enjoy the battle that is Sura. Okay, it looks like we're almost at the 3 minute mark, so we'll just pay attention to that for a second. And what will happen is I'll go to town and just position our guy in a nice location, give my outro for the video, and say thank you. So we're almost there. Hope you're enjoying Sura kicking some serious butt here. To town we go. So from what I hear from a few people, they like Sura, and the only weakness that they see is his farming speed. So just take the advice that I showed you in this video and increase the skill cooldowns, and I think you'll be just fine. So now that we are back in town, I'll just put them over here and allow me to say thank you. I hope you like this video. I'm always making more videos. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Let your friends know about it. In the meantime, I'm going to say once again, thank you, and you have a great day. Take care.